The stream's up.
It's filling up too.
Yes.
We'll be good. We'll be good.
I'm having my wife. I was just barely able to, and I couldn't get it to walk from here. Worst case scenario, we should be able to I'm sure you're in. And I've recorded that. And I deleted it out because it didn't take It's just so weird that I'm able to do it from here. And this is a much usually faster rate of boost. So there's got to be a setting.
Google it, it's a camera, allow your app to have access to the camera. Somebody can give it access to what you're doing.
So sometimes what we need to do is come down here when we go because we can always delete it. So, depending on the volume, or maybe a difference in how loud this the loud one should be pretty consistent. Channel 1, we can I'm so glad they offered this here. Because it keeps me from having to run it, on top of the
So channel 1 was the,
master volume and probably tell you what, you see the turn them both straight up. We're not using
what is that?
that would cut or reduce volume. If you mashed it in, it would be like red, and that would be like fresh. See a little bit.
One, two, three. Test. We'll get there. We'll get the show on the road here in about 4 minutes. So candidates, about 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Come on up this way. Okay.
That's right.
Good evening. I am Colleen Shannon, a member of the Friends of Seymour Library, and I want to welcome you on their behalf. Chuck, can you?
Turn the volume down.
Yeah. We are streaming this, and so, thank you. So we have friends online who are watching, and they will also be asking questions. I'll be monitoring that so that if it's a question we haven't already given to the candidates, we can do so. I want to welcome you again. This is the first of our 2026 candidate forums. We will have another one April 14th. 16th. April 16th. When we will have the candidates for sheriff and the road superintendent. So we hope you will come back and bring your friends and neighbors and family. We especially welcome our honored guests, the 3 candidates, Sarah Rutledge, Andy Jackson, and Mike Pollard. And we are honored to have Chief John Lindsay-Bigler as our moderator. John did this for us 2 years ago, and he's both fun and tough. So you have a good evening coming up. Are there any current county commissioners or other county officials here tonight? Would you please stand up and introduce yourself?
I'm April, and I'm your Sevier County.
Thank you.
I'm Chad Ogle. I currently am your commissioner in District 6, Seat A, the seat that I'm giving up is what they're campaigning for, and I will be here on April 16th running for sheriff.
Thank you.
I'm Todd. No, I'm Todd Noble. I'm the county commissioner for Ken B. Here.
Thank you, Tom.
My name is Michael Madry. I'm commissioner in District 5, and pleased to be here tonight, and good luck to all you guys.
Thank you very much. What we're doing tonight is such an important part of our democracy. You are here to learn what your neighbors represent, what they think, what they want for our community in Seymour. And most importantly, you are here to decide who you're going to vote for. And then after someone is elected, how you're going to hold them accountable to the promises they make when they're running for the position. You know, primaries and local elections are notorious for low voter turnout. We want to turn that around and make sure that you, your neighbors, your families, your friends come out and vote. And you can vote right here at early voting. All questions tonight will be put by the moderator. This saves time. But if you have a question that has not been asked, you can raise your hand and someone will bring you a card or and a pen, and you can write your question. And those of you who are watching online, put your questions in the chat and we will transfer those to the moderator. I'm going to turn this over to John now, and good luck, all of you. Oh. No, you don't need a microphone.
No, I probably don't need the microphone, but you know, I'll stand for a minute. Oh, let's get ready to rumble. We have no, there's gonna be a lot of changes. You know, Seymour Fire, we cover part of 3 counties, but there's gonna be a lot of changes in our tri-county area. You know, we're gonna have 3 new mayors in this area. We're gonna have, and possibly have 3 new sheriffs. And it's very interesting beside the commission seats. And I pulled off online. I recommend you go into the Sevier County, the election commission site, and look at all the positions that are opening up and educate yourself, like Colleen said, and vote. I've told people for years in our fire district, if all the residents in our fire district, if they get out and vote, they can make a total change throughout the whole county. But sadly, people don't like to vote, and the turnout's down. So I think Colleen, I don't know if she said or not, talk to your neighbor, saying, hey, have you got out and voted yet? Go. Because the dates for it, they're online as well. I'm not smart, I do look up AI now, but they, the last day, if you're gonna be absent in the area, the request will be February 4th, that closes on April 25th. Got plenty of time. Early voting, like Colleen said, will be here, the 15th to the 30th, and May 5th is a big day. I like to go to the polls and meet everybody, because it's kind of fun along that line. And I do appreciate all the candidates. I speak at all three different counties, and I appreciate everybody who's willing to put their name on a sign, stick it in a yard every 3 years or so, and put it back out there. So I appreciate anybody who runs for public office. And you will be getting a new fire chief as well, but luckily I'm not voted on. I'm appointed by our board of directors, and hopefully that decision will be made here soon, because I have 28 days, 4 hours, 57 minutes. But I am not counting. So I'm going to turn it over to each candidate, and we're initially going to go down to the row, 5 minutes each, kind of an opening introduction. But I do ask you at the end of your 5 minutes, your timekeeper will be down there. Tell everybody what your favorite ice cream flavor is. Not brand, just a favorite ice cream flavor, okay? But right now, Andy, you're up.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andy Jackson. When people ask me why I'm running for county commission, my answer is always the same. I'm not just from District 6. I'm running for county commission in District 6 because I'm from here. This community built me and made me who I am. Looking around this room tonight, many of you watched me grow up here. Whether it was at First Baptist Church, the halls of the Seymour schools, Maybe at least one of you, I made a hot dog at White Star Market when it was my first job. Some of you, I taught your kids. I taught your grandkids. Some of you, I taught, which makes me feel real old. My wife, Jennifer, and I are both administrators in the Sevier County school system. Our 3 sons, Gavin, AJ, and Peyton, go to Seymour schools. We go to church at Seymour Heights. So when I talk about wanting to protect our values and plan our future, those aren't just political talking points. These are the roads my kids play on, the schools they go to. It matters to me. That's why I want to be your next county commissioner. For the last 16 years, I've been a teacher, an administrator, a bus driver, a beta sponsor, even a bowling coach in our county. That's taken me from Seymour to Sevierville to Gatlinburg. I've learned a lot about those communities, about education, about what matters to the people of Sevier County. But I've also learned a lot about leadership. That leadership is not about a position. It's not about a title. It's not about a degree next to your name. It's about being a servant to the people of your community. It's about making it better. And part of that is being a good steward. Psalms tells us that everything we have belongs to the Lord, and it's our job to take care of it. I believe I'll be the best steward of your tax dollars. And part of that is my qualifications. I graduated from the University of Tennessee with a bachelor's degree in political science, focusing on local and state government. Then I went to Nashville. I worked for the Senate Majority Leader, the Secretary of State, and the Lieutenant Governor. I came home. I started teaching at Seymour High School. While I was there, I earned a couple more degrees, including a doctorate in leadership, focused on fiscal policy. Now, most educators, when they earn a doctorate, they do it in professional development or instructional techniques. I did mine in fiscal policy. I remember the day my chair, I told her that's what I want to do, and she looked at me like I had 3 heads, because nobody does that. And I said, I want you to understand, at Seymour High School, my students do not have a level playing field. They're expected to compete with students from across the district and across the state, while being the lowest funded students in the entire state of Tennessee. I want to understand how that happened, why that happened, and what we can do to fix it. So I spent the next 3 years talking to stakeholders across the state, superintendents and finance directors from the largest school districts, policymakers in Nashville, and economists at the University of Tennessee. And then I wrote a book explaining why Seymour schools are underfunded, why they have an uneven playing field. I will bring that same work ethic, that same dedication to identifying and solving problems as your next county commissioner. I have 3 goals on county commission. 1 is smart growth. Seymour's a great place to live. We all choose to live here. It's a great place to live, to raise kids, and to retire. So growth is going to happen. It's inevitable. Smart growth takes leadership. 2 are good schools. The Seymour schools are fantastic. I was raised as them. My 3 sons are there. I am so thankful to the men and women who put their blood, sweat, and tears into our students every day. We need to level the playing field for them. 3 are essential services. Seymour's growing. 1 in 5 taxpayers in Sevier County live in Seymour. We need to ensure we have proportional tax dollars coming back to Seymour. Proverbs tells us that the man who walks with integrity's children are blessed to come after them. And that's my prayer. That one day my children can say that I walk with integrity, that I love my neighbor, and I made Seymour a better place. So I hope tonight I can earn your vote. Thank you all for being here. My name is Andy Jackson.
All right, good evening. My name is Sarah Rutledge, and I want to thank the Friends of the Seymour Library for having us and having this event. I do want to say that I'm here for the future. I'm here for the future of District 6. As a county commissioner, we all have to delegate where the funds are going, what's happening with the budget, what the, sorry. I'm running for county commissioner of District 6 because I believe our community deserves someone who's going to stick up for it. I'm very passionate about that. I don't feel like Seymour has had a good voice. I feel like Seymour is always taking a second fiddle to the rest of the county. I've been here for 20 years. I've lived in Kodak, I've lived in Pigeon Forge, I've lived in Sevierville. I choose to be here in Seymour. Seymour is where my heart lies. It's where I decided to raise my family. It's where I go to worship. I too go to Seymour Heights. And that's where my values are. I want Seymour to be respected like the rest of the community. The education part of it, there's a lot of vocational stuff in the other high schools. I would like to see the vocational stuff come here to Seymour as well. With our roads, I've had discussions with the current superintendent, Donnie Adams. He's going to be working on all the different subdivisions. I want to make sure that that's happening. I want to make sure that Seymour is represented in that as well, because subdivisions do need some work on their roads. We all know that Boys Creek and Chapman Highway, those are all part of the state. They're done by TDOT. We have influence on that as well. We can always be a voice to make sure that those things are taken care of, because they're not being taken care of now. I want to make sure that your voice is heard in all of these aspects. First responders, you have the new EMS building right here in Seymour. You have the new fire department building that's going to be going up down the road. Those are all things that help improve this area. We need to focus on the first response. We need to make sure that they have all the equipment they need. We need to make sure that they're funded with what they need funds-wise to make sure that these things are first and foremost in Seymour. My husband works for the Sheriff's Department. He's been there for 20 years. He's currently a major at the Corrections Department. So I want to make sure that they have what they need. I do know that they do have 3 patrol officers that are in this area. I do know that they have also put into effect that some of the reserve officers are going through the neighborhoods and making sure everything is taken care of. Those are all things that need to continue. We need to strengthen those opportunities and make sure that they have the funds to do that as well. My son currently goes to Boys Creek. He's 9 years old. He also goes to the Fit Factory, where he learns jiu-jitsu. He's gone to the MVP soccer over here at the Baptist Church, First Baptist Church. He loves it, enjoys it. So you might see me waving, and everyone refers to me as Will's mom. That's me. So if you see me out and about, and everyone's yelling Will's mom, that's me. I do have 13 years in finance and banking. Some of you I might know from down here at the Seymour Branch. That's where I started my banking career. I started there as a universal banker and a teller coordinator. From there, I went on to loss prevention at Elevon. That's where I was a loss prevention analyst, and now I'm a quality analyst in training and development. So I uniquely have qualities that help with budgeting, that help with finding inconsistencies, that help find different things that can go into the budget that need to be refined. So that is me, and I have my little time card come up, so it just threw me off a little bit, but that's me. I'm Sarah Rutled, and I'm running for your county commissioner.
Hello, can you hear me? I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This means a lot to all of us up here. I can't emphasize enough how much you need to talk to your neighbors and try to get them out to vote. You've heard already tonight that Seymour's population is large enough that we can control Sevier County if we get enough people to get out and vote. So just keep that in mind. My name is Mike Pollard, and I'm the Fulton County Commissioner, 6th District, CA. I've lived in Seymour for 59 years, which I'm 59 years old, so that means all my life. I've lived in the 6th District for the past 35 years with my wife, Barbara. She's a teacher at Seymour Primary School. Well, she's actually an interventionist this night, but she works at Seymour Primary School. I raised 2 daughters. They both graduated from Seymour, and they both graduated from UT as well. Seymour schools are fantastic schools. I work for Knox County Schools. I'm supervisor of maintenance department. I've been there for 28 years. I manage a budget of $58 million. I appropriate money for different crafts so that we can maintain the school buildings in Knox County. There's 96 facilities, and we have to take care of everything from the roof to the floor. I'm also responsible for receiving and evaluating all the applications that come into the maintenance department. So the hiring and firing, unfortunately, goes through me as well. So I understand having tough conversations with people when they're not doing a great job. I'm a member of the Tennessee Plant Managers Association, and I attend conferences all over the United States. And I've also got a certificate of educational facilities management from the University of Tennessee. I collaborate closely with Knox County Procurement and Finance to evaluate bids, vendors, and equipment, ensuring compliance and responsible use of taxpayers' funds. In my job, I have to be very transparent, and I expect every government agency to be transparent with the way they spend their money. I would love to see a published budget from Sevier County. I have yet to see that. I work with the Knox County American with Disabilities Board. We ensure that all the schools, the district schools, have compliance with the ADA. I work with the Title IX office as well. So I work with the Title IX office to ensure that any sex-based discrimination does not exist in Knox County. I work with the Knox County Schools Security Department to strategically utilize grants to make sure that our students are safe. And I also work with Sevier County's Board of Education. Mostly it's Kevin McClure, and we talk to each other. So if there's something that comes up that I have in my arsenal, and what I mean by that is if we have bottle fill stations that I can buy at a cheaper rate, I will see if I can get that for Sevier County so I can save us money. You know, challenges that we have here in Seymour, I've talked to many people, and it's maintaining our roads and the traffic that we have. And why do we have that traffic? That's because of the rapid growth that we've had here in Seymour in the past few months. You know, the pressure from the rapid growth also taxes our schools along with our emergency services. And that's something that we need to look at to fund and keep going forward with Seymour. And again, my name is Mike Pollard, and I ask for your vote May 5th. Thank you.
Andy, your favorite ice cream was?
Oh, I apologize. Don't follow directions while I'm a teacher. We're not good at that. It has to be chocolate and peanut butter together in any combination you want to do. Cups, swirls, I don't care. Chocolate, peanut butter.
Sarah?
I'm gonna go with, see, it's a tie for me. I really love Rocky Road, but I can't eat it anymore. But I like mint chocolate chip.
Sounds like you got some voters on that one.
Mint chocolate chip all the way.
I'm gonna be completely transparent. My wife will tell you, I love vanilla.
Chocolate on it, please, Greenland. Just plain vanilla. Cruise Farms vanilla is really good. Look at the fat guy. You also were very similar in some of the comments that you made about, you know, having the voice in the Seymour people, financial equality in different departments and being good stewards of that. And then all three of you definitely hit on the growth in the roads with it, because obviously that's something we can all see, and that's what several of the questions over here relate to. We'll start with Mike. There's no names who these came from. With Seymour growing by leaps and bounds, any thought of implementing planning and zoning?
That definitely needs to happen. The only way we can manage the growth, and there's been several communities across the United States, the way they managed their growth was through zoning and planning. You know, if you've got a property, which we cannot tell anybody how they can use their property, They can use it pretty much however they want to. But if it's zoned for residential, we can limit the number of homes put on an acre. And that's something that we need to work into.
Sarah? Question about growing in leaves and bounds. Any thought on implementing planning and zoning if you were elected as commission?
I think it's something that we do need to look at, yes. We have implemented a couple of other things recently about different areas have, like when they are building, they do have commissions now that they do need to go through different steps to, for zoning for, I can't think of my words today. Like the watershed and stuff like that. So like the drainage, like we do have, those are all in place now. So there have been some advancements in those different things. So zoning would be the next step. So yes, I definitely think that zoning needs to be part of our growth structure.
Andy?
I definitely want to echo that I agree that if you own a piece of property, you should be allowed to do with it what you want to do with it. But part of that is when you're purchasing a piece of property, you need to understand the zoning that's in place already. You shouldn't speculatively buy a piece of property and then go to the zoning board and ask them to rezone it for high-density residential because you want to put up 400 houses. We should have a long-term plan. The zones should be created looking at a 100-year, 200-year time frame to know that we're still going to have our character of our community in 100 years and 200 years. So you can't come in and decide, I'm going to buy this farm and put 400 houses on it by convincing the zoning commission to change it. And I do think we're doing good things. I know Mr. Temple with the zoning commission has been trying already to put in new policies restricting overnight rental developments, for instance, which I think is a great idea. But I've talked to several members of the planning commission, and they all come to me with the same complaint when I'm talking about the future of Seymour, and that is that if you check all the boxes on the list, you're automatically approved for whatever you're doing. So I think maybe one solution to that is change the boxes on the list so they're not easy to jump through, and we can actually meet the needs of Seymour and the desires of the taxpayers of Seymour to protect our community.
And Andy, just keep the mic, I'll let you, because this is kind of what has been stated here. It goes right into the next question. I'm just going to read the bottom of it. It does seem like a lot of large developments get variances that's not following the plan. Talking about if there's a 5 or 10-year growth plan. So expand on what your thoughts are. It seems like there's a lot of large developments getting variances.
How many people in the room have driven down Boyd's Creek in the last 5 years? Right? Like, I feel like they put up a new 300 house development every year down there, and they're not expanding Boyd's Creek. They're not expanding the sewer. They're not expanding the water lines. You have these big multinational corporations coming in and putting up these huge tract developments of houses that my cousin bought one and the sink fell off the wall like 2 weeks later, right? They're not good houses and they're not solid investments for the people of Seymour. So while I'm not saying growth is a bad thing, I'm not saying we shouldn't allow developers to come in and build neighborhoods. I'm saying I would rather work or encourage local developers to be the ones building those neighborhoods. The people that are invested in our communities, the people that are donating to my kids' baseball team, the people who are donating their band boosters, you know, the people who care about us and our future aren't just here to make a quick buck and head out of town.
Mike, sorry, Sarah.
I'm getting confused.
I'm just like, whatever you have is passing off on me. Go ahead.
Brain fog today. It's okay. Responsible development needs to happen. There needs to be restrictions. There needs to be some kind of governing on what is going where. But in the flip side of that, property is for the developer. So there has to be a happy medium somewhere. It's a matter of finding that happy medium. There's different avenues that you can go to with the zoning and different things. But it all has to be justified. So putting 400 to 500 houses right on top of each other is not a good justification just because that space can hold that many houses. That's not okay. Our infrastructure can't handle that. So they need to have some kind of plan for the infrastructure and the development that's gonna happen. So that takes a lot of planning, a lot of different things have to come together, a lot of different committees have to come together, and all that planning needs to happen. We can't just have hundreds of houses being developed and not being able to support them. Because what's gonna happen is that we're not gonna have enough water. Where I'm from in Florida is going through that right now. They had to come up with legislation to stop other counties from using their water supply because they don't have enough to supply their own housing. So we need to look at this now before it becomes a problem in the future.
What's your thoughts about that?
We definitely need to have planning. It's something that this community's needed for a long time. I'm not bashing the county commissioners now. It needs to be worked and looked at as a team. And everybody needs to work together to come up with this planning and zoning so that we can continue to grow, because that's inevitable. It's gonna happen. You can't stop the growth. But we've got to figure out a way to manage it. Just like the previous attendants here came up with. I mean, the roads cannot handle what we've got now. And we're so far behind in our infrastructure construction that it'll take years to get caught up. And, you know, what I'm trying to say is what we're looking at is going to take a long time. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that we can just snap our fingers in the next couple of years and we're done. So we've got to look long-term and figure out a way to control what's happening here in Seymour now.
Give it to Sarah, I'm gonna go the next one there. Yes, it's on the impact fees, something I do at some of the other counties that I'm dealing with, is with the development and dealing with, MPC plans and the growth, how many homes per acre can be put in. It is very difficult. I mean, everybody, all the counties around us is having that same concept. But what would be a priority in regulating zoning, and also traffic control? It's kind of a two-part question there. Regulating zoning and dealing with traffic control. Sarah? I know, you pull these out of your hat, right? You gotta think about it.
So again, I mean, it's not just one person that gets to vote for the zoning. It's the whole county commission. It has to deal with, everyone on the county commission will have to come together and make that plan. It's what everybody needs in Sevier County. It's not just Seymour. I mean, although we are growing at the faster rate of Sevier County, we have the highest rate of people coming into Seymour because we are 20 minutes from everything. We are 20 minutes from Knoxville. We're 20 minutes to Sevierville, and traffic could be a little longer, but we're growing at a rapid rate. So all the commissioners would have to come together and make those decisions. It's not something that one person can do. It's not one person that's going to be on the county commission can't make all that happen. So it's going to come to where the mayor's office would need to be involved, the road superintendent, TDOT, all of the different aspects would all need to get together and try to come up with a plan. So whether it's zoning, whether it's, there has to be some kind of plan for it. And what was the second part of that question?
Just mainly about traffic control.
Traffic control.
How about toll gates, and they need money raised?
If you start charging, that will definitely put some traffic control in there, wouldn't it? Right now, everybody goes by GPS, and it's gonna take you the shortest way. So if there happens to be an accident on Chapman Highway, it's gonna make you go to 407. Hopefully with the new 408 exit, it's gonna take some of this traffic away. And GPS will make the traffic go to the 408 exit. That is the hope for the 408 exit, is that it is going to take some of the traffic off of our roads so that they will be less congested. So I'm hoping that that plan does work out. So As far as traffic control, we do have the sheriff's department. They are here. We have 3 patrol officers in this district. And they're here to make sure that everyone's taken care of.
Andy?
Which way do I go?
It's a dexterity test, yeah.
So as far as the traffic is concerned, I also agree with the prioritizing with TDOT and our county partners, finishing exit 4 is very important, as well as the Veterans Boulevard extension. Getting those connected will hopefully get tourists back on the roads that they're used to and they need to be on, not coming through Seymour. Another part of it, how many of you all sit in traffic on Fort Hill on Friday afternoons? That's like you spend your life sitting there backed up.
I want to interrupt right now. The fire department had nothing to do with getting that traffic.
You're noted. So we can, and I've spoken to some people across the county that work in road department, get our lights in Seymour synced better, have them computer connected and make it work better. So you don't have 5 cars going through the exit or the interchange at Boyd's Creek and then all the cars going through at Food City. We can sync those lights up and make things go smoother. And they're working on that. We're in the right process for that. However, when it comes to road safety and traffic control, a lot of people in the community have talked to me about Porterfield Gap and the danger of that intersection. I actually, the very first time my dad took me out to drive a car, I almost wrecked at that intersection because I was afraid to put on my brakes because someone was going to rear end me. So I had thoughts about the traffic at that intersection. Anyway, that there is a plan, a long-term plan to put a traffic signal there to help control that intersection and make it safer for us. And that is working with partners. Seymour, it works with Knox County in the same safety umbrella as far as grants are concerned. So we can apply for grants out of Knox County to help fund traffic improvement in Seymour. We need to be working with every available partner to fund these projects so we can improve the safety of our roads as we grow without raising taxes on the taxpayers of Seymour.
Yep, you're up.
All right. Traffic's horrible in Seymour. I guess everybody knows that. You know, all the solutions that we're talking about up here this evening are time consuming. They're long. I agree with Andy on the traffic signals. Being able to sync those, they make smart traffic signals that can sense the traffic and they adjust as traffic grows or as it goes away. So that would be something that definitely needs to be looked into. What was the other part of that question?
I just regulating rezoning, we've got to kick that horse already.
Yeah. That's a dead horse, so we'll pass on that one. But getting back to the traffic, I agree, setting on Fort Hill is terrible. But as Sarah said, you know, the GPSs are using Chapman Highway now more to route people to Sevierville and also from Sevierville back to downtown Knoxville. Can we regulate that? Can we change that? No. And again, the infrastructure of Chapman Highway was never designed for that kind of traffic. So how do we move forward with a change on Chapman Highway? And again, that's years before something could happen.
All right, keep the mic, Mike.
Yes.
Kind of a 2-part question over here. Have you ever been attending any county commission meetings in Sevier County prior to your candidacy?
I have been attending the Sevier County meetings for several years. Yes.
This is not me, I'm reading it. I'll try to use an accent. I have been to county commission meetings and have found them to be pretty cut and dry. If you are elected, how will you let your constituents know what is going on?
That's a great question. I have talked to Sam Soto, that's him standing over in the corner. If I'm elected, I've asked him if we could do a podcast so that we can educate the people that are here in Seymour. Because lots of times, I've discussed this with numerous people, if you work in Knoxville and you live in Seymour, you cannot physically go from Knoxville to Sevierville in an hour. So you can't make it to the county commission meetings. I know lots of times with the county commission meetings, all you see is the agenda when you get there. It's not broken down to the committees, but that is online. You can read the minutes from the meetings that they have on the committee. So, again, Sam's been gracious enough to say it doesn't matter which one of us wins, he will work on the podcast and help educate and keep the voters here in Seymour up to date on what's going on.
All right, Sarah. So Sarah, basically, have you been to a county commission meeting before your candidacy?
I have, yes, been to a couple.
You find them to be boring and dry? No.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I do.
Depends
I'm
on the
gonna be
day.
honest, yes, I do.
28 days, okay. What do you think about it? They're pretty much cut and dry. If you're elected, how will you let your constituents know what's going on from your aspect?
I think they are cut and dry, but they kind of have to be because I want to get through the whole agenda. So there is a purpose for that. You can go online, like Mike said, and you can read what happened during any county commission meeting. I've done that when I wasn't able to go. So having town halls is an option, and I know the Friends of Seymour Library have offered to do that here. Sam, that's awesome. That's a good opportunity to get it out via media. Also, I would say having it on a dedicated page on Facebook to have what is out there would be another good suggestion. I would need to make sure that that would be okay. Also, I have a phone, I have an email, I'm readily available. I'm always here. If you want to talk, if you want to chat, if there's something on your mind, call me. I'm always available. If I'm not available, leave me a voicemail. I will call you back. But if there's something that needs to get out to the Seymour community where I need to get your opinion, and I will definitely make sure that all those avenues, I post something on there, say something out there, get that out there so that you guys can all get together and have a town hall and give me your opinion on what's going to be happening.
Have you been to any county commission meetings?
I have been to a couple, and there were some a few years ago that weren't so cut and dry, but we've kind of come back to the cut and dry area. I will say though, you see all these county commission meetings on YouTube of people like throwing punches and stuff. I'd much rather have cut and dry than dislikes. So we have to look at the positive here. I don't know how many of y'all follow me on Facebook or have seen my Facebook account. I post videos as frequently as someone asks me a question, answering the question straight to them. I think being transparent is very important. I have, again, my phone number and my email are available everywhere. Call me, ask me questions. But it is also being proactive and answering people's questions online straight to them. I love the idea of a podcast. That's wonderful. But I also enjoy building websites, things like that. I'm a nerd. Something stupid is the dumpopen.com is a way to communicate information to people. That's not hard to build. There's no reason we can't have a simple interface where people can see the latest news that's happening in the county commission, things that do. I do appreciate they post the meetings and agendas online because while I haven't been to any recently, I've read through the last couple of years of meetings to know what's going on with our county commission. So I do think that transparency is very important, that being proactive is important. I would love to be a frequent guest on a podcast, but I haven't been invited yet. So hopefully, I'm probably elected. I'll be on that podcast.
When you get elected, have him come to
You're about
Oh,
Thanks.
Andy, get to my very next. I serve on a subcommittee in Knox County Commission appointed Fire and Technical Rescue, currently chairing that. My question to the county commissioners here, we have to post our agenda 2 weeks out to the public. Does the county commission currently do that at all? They put the agenda out 2 weeks to easily get to?
Yes.
I see some yes. I haven't found it along that line. but it's keeping it all up and communication out open is very important. Andy, what civic organizations or volunteer groups outside of the church do you belong to in the last 3 years? So what civic organizations or volunteer groups outside church have you belonged to in the last 3 years?
So outside of church, I'm a public servant for a living, so I don't think that counts though. But I am very dedicated to the Beta Club, which is a service organization. It goes through the schools, but I do a lot of stuff outside the schools with it. It promotes leadership, achievement, and service in our children. So I dedicate a lot of my time to that. I serve currently as the state sponsor to represent all of the clubs in Tennessee, but I also serve on the state council for Beta Club. So I'm one of a 5-member team that operates the Beta Club for the entire state of Tennessee. Currently, that's taking a lot of time because we are going through hundreds of applications for scholarships to send kids to college with Beta funds. So things like that are really important to me. As an educator, I'm very, very dedicated to the future and our children. So Beta Club really has my heart. And the center of Beta Club is we lead by serving others, which has kind of become a life motto for me as a servant leader.
Sarah, same question. What are specific organizations outside the church you belong to the last 3 years?
So I have done work with the United Way. I've also done work with Relay for Life. I have also Alzheimer's awareness. And I'm missing one. What am I missing? I don't know. I can't think of it right at this moment.
Give it a mic.
But I've done all of those. There's another one out there. I'll remember it later.
Sarah will sign you up to be a friend of the library.
There you go. I mean, my son's here all the time, so.
How about you, Mike?
Serve with the Tennessee School Plant Managers Association, and I'm also a member of the National School Plant Managers Association. So what we do is we make sure that we can collaborate with other counties in Tennessee and across the nation so that schools have the best vendors, the best products that we can purchase. We work to put a list of all those products together so that the schools can pull from that list and use a single contract that's statewide to purchase off of. Also, I am a member of the Friends of Seymour Library.
That's fine. Give it to Sarah. She's going to start off.
I remember what the fourth
She's
one
next
was.
here. We talked about a few negative things, and this is a great area. You know, even though I have been there for 40 some years, according to Seymour Speaks Up, I'm still not from around here. What are some positive things about Seymour that we want to make sure we maintain?
The community. That's the whole reason why I wanted to move here, was the community. Everybody in this area genuinely loves one another. It might not be like, you know, I love you type of I love you, but they generally, like, they look out for each other. They make sure that they, like, if someone needs something, they will go out and help that person. That is the number one reason why I wanted to move here and be part of the community. And I'm like you, I'm not from here either. But I have lived in Sevier County for over half of my life. So I choose to be here in Seymour, and I choose to have the relationships with people that are in this community, because I've never felt more as family in a community than Seymour. And that means the world. And that's why I'm running, is because I want to make sure everybody's taken care of.
Andy, to your right. No, sorry. What am I talking about?
Nope.
No, it is Andy. It is Andy. What are some positive things at Seymour? And what do we make sure we need, what we need to maintain?
Well, I will start with our schools. I know I'm an educator, so it sounds like I'm beating the drum here, but our schools are incredible schools. We're very, very blessed to have excellent schools, excellent educators. With that comes things like sports. I know we wish we would win more sometimes, but we're on the right path. We're winning more. My kids are athletes. We are at every Seymour sporting event, I think. But that goes back to the community. There's a sense of community in Seymour. There's community pride. There's a love of our town and a love of each other. I also feel like Seymour, one of my core values and one of my campaign's core values is to love your neighbor. And I feel like Seymour does a great job at that. We have churches that pour into our community. We have cross ministries, huge fan of them, that, connect the churches together to make sure the most needy of our community aren't going without. And to me, like, our highest calling in life is to be in the hands and feet of Jesus. And I think Seymour does a really good job of that with our community members. So my highest priority would be just to really nurture that and encourage that and keep that alive for the next generation.
All right, now here to Mike. You've been here since Pixie was here.
Oh, yes, yeah. Everybody know what the Pixie was? Yeah. Exactly. What I love about Seymour is the family feel that we have here. Like I said, being raised here, it's home. There's no place else in the world that feels like home to me other than right here in Seymour. Sevier County's great, but Seymour's my home. The camaraderie that we have here. You can walk up to anybody and say hello and shake their hand, and you can't do that across the United States. I've been places where I wouldn't dare do that. There's places here in Tennessee that I wouldn't dare do that. But that's what I love about this community, is the friendliness, the camaraderie that we all have, and the schools. I played football at Seymour. It breaks my heart to go to Seymour and watch a football game now, because it's not quite the same. But when I played at Seymour High School was 8th grade through 12th grade. We were small, but we were strong. And I think this community is a strong community.
And I agree with that. I mean, the fire service, when we've had fires and stuff, we had big fires at 16, Sevier County strong. And even in Sevier, when we have structure fires and stuff, Seymour strong. The people will want to help, to come out to help. And so it is good. And even all the halfbacks, transplants, Yankees, Californians. We had a neighbor, I live on Trinum Circle, across the street, and the couple's out there, young couple, and she's on the phone. So I pull up, I'm walking over there, and she's on the phone saying, oh, she's talking to her mom in California. Oh, there's somebody coming here. I'm gonna go talk to him. That was a strange thing. You see a neighbor walking up to them. She thought I wanted to sell her something. But no, and that's what it is. It is friendly, opening the doors for people. And you do have those people that aren't used to that. Stopping when you're coming through the school zone to allow the bus to get out. Just those little things, what makes us unique and friendly. And definitely to try to keep that going. Mike, you're up. Let's see. Seymour is unique in Sevier County, and that is it has a sizable population and is unincorporated. Do you think we'll ever go incorporated? Different. Sorry, you two people. I'll be on Seymour Speaks Out. So the commissioners are especially important. How do you see your role representing Seymour, specifically, District 6A in that?
Well, the way I see that role, county commissioners' jobs, policy making, overseeing other departments, and listening to the constituents. I see that as being the biggest part of the county commissioner's job, listening to the constituents, going back to the county commission and relaying that to the other commissioners exactly what is Seymour's heartburn. We need to work as a team.
Gotcha. Yep. We're unique, unincorporated. So for the commissioners especially, how do you see your role representing Seymour? And I'm adding specifically those District 6A.
I've said this from the beginning, that the Seymour community needs to be well represented, and they need to have a voice. The voice isn't as loud as it should be, because we are growing, we are the bigger community at this point, and we need to be heard. So I want to be that voice. I want to be able to represent everyone that's in the Seymour area. Seymour is 3 different districts, so it needs to be, I'm going for 6, and that's where I live, but Seymour as a whole needs to be represented well. So the 3 districts and the county commission all need to get together and realize that Seymour is not just a little blip anymore. We're a big part of Sevier County. And we need to be recognized as that. And I want to be able to be the voice to be able to convey that to everybody that's making those decisions and being able to represent the community.
Good, Andy? How do you see your role?
I'll echo, listening is the first step. You need to know what the people of Seymour want, what the people of Seymour need. I consider myself a problem solver, so figuring out how you translate those wants and needs into actual action for the county is very, very important. There are 25 members of our county commission. It takes 13 of them to do anything. So you have 6 commissioners in Seymour. You need, I'm not great at math, but I think 7 more to get anything done. I've worked in Sevierville and Gatlinburg as an administrator. My career has spread across the county. In doing that, I've met people, business owners, community members, families that make up our entire county. I believe I can work with people from across the district and help them understand what's good for Seymour is good for Sevier County. If we all work together, we can make things better for Seymour. We can make things better for Jones Cove. We can make things better for Wares Valley. We all work together for the benefit of our constituents. And I think we're blessed with a pretty good county commission who all want what's best for Sevier County. And they are willing to work together. One of the commissioners recently told me that, if you come to the commission with a good proposal that makes good sense, and the county commission is probably going to back you up because they all want what's best for Sevier County. And I believe I can identify and work with other people to help make that happen.
Thank you. Keep the mic there because you'll be on to the next question. We'll go back down this way here. Yeah, just in our fire district alone in Sevier County, we have 6 districts that we cover in the fire service. We're the largest fire service in Sevier County. We cover more square mileage than the city of Pittsburgh, Gatlinburg, Sevierville combined along that line. And we do work together. I'm very proud of what the commission has done over the last several years, supporting fire service and what they have done. That takes money to do that. And they see the need, but it's always not a quick fix. It takes time. That is an odd question. I'm not sure how you're going to answer this. What would you do to address the political polarization in our county?
Is the leading Seymour Speaks Out an option? Sorry, Seymour Speaks Out, I love y'all. So, and this is something that bothers me with politics in general. If you put a group of people in a room together, they're going to agree on 90% of the things. It's about coming face to face and talking to each other. I think if we can get people face to face talking to each other, it solves a lot of that polarization. Because it's a lot harder to hate the person you're looking at than the person who's typing on a keyboard somewhere. So I think it's really important that we create those opportunities to bring people together, to have discussions. It's things like the Bridge Coffee Shop is a great example. It's a third place. People can come together, they can talk, they can talk about the issues in Seymour without hiding behind the computer screen. Because, as I said a minute ago, most people here want what's best for Seymour. They want that's what's best for Sevier County. They just have people on the internet telling them some crazy things sometimes.
Sarah?
I need to take off the glasses. Talking, discussion, that's what's gonna solve the polarization, is having conversations, getting down to what's in your heart. Like Andy said, most people can find a common ground, and that's what gets rid of the polarization. So if you can find a common ground, that's what's gonna make it less polarized for all of us. Conversations, talking from the heart, being part of the community. For the most part, this community, I don't see the polarization, and that might just because I don't keep my sunglasses on. So everyone here is equal.
What do you think? What do you think, Mike?
I agree with Sarah. Everybody here is equal. You know, it's not a matter of, are you Republican, are you Democrat, black or white, red, orange. We're all people and we're all here together. And we have to work together as a team. And communication is the key. The only way you can be successful is to communicate and work together. And that would be my goal. I've been going to the county commission meetings just so that I can meet the other commissioners and talk to them and kind of build that team so that, you know, they know who I am and I know who they are. I know what they support. They know what I support. And that's what it's going to take. Everybody working together. But I also want to hear from everybody in the community that will talk. Lots of times I hear I'm a registered voter, but I don't vote. Why go through the process if you're not going to exercise your right to have your voice heard? And I tell people that. You got to get out and you got to vote. So to work together, it's going to take the entire community to make things different.
No, I agree. Always, that's why I'm reading the question of polarization. I don't see it here. I see it in Knox County, the stuff like there. But here, no. But it segues into you talking about voting. Have you voted in the last 3 elections?
Yes, I voted in
Yeah, how many stickers do you have?
they all washed off.
Did you? Yeah, just saying.
I voted since I was 28, somewhere in that area. So it's been a long time. I'm 59. Yeah, you can do the math.
Sarah, have you voted in the last 3 elections?
I have. I've been voting since I was 18. I definitely exercise that right. I did miss one primary though, but I was out of town.
Are you going to vote this?
I'll be voting this primary. Come on now.
Andy, how about you?
May 5th, again, voting May 5th.
I haven't missed an election day. Actually, I always vote early, so I should say I haven't missed an election since the day I turned 18. I was a political science major in college. It's kind of a prerequisite to be a little obsessed with politics, and you can never miss an election. I do think voting is incredibly important. We should encourage it. I love our early voting here in this room, right here. So if you enjoy this room, make sure to stop back by between April the 15th and April the 30th and vote. They mentioned it earlier, though, the voting problems. So District 6A has more than 5,000 registered voters. The last primary, about 700 voted. It's a tiny fraction of the voters. And there's a lot of people who live here who aren't registered. So we need to encourage those who aren't registered to register and encourage those who are registered to come out and vote. Because our community, our future is way too important to sit on the couch. It's not a lot. We have 15 days of early voting and an election day to get people out. So tell your friends and neighbors. I'm sure everyone in this room is voting because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. But tell your friends and neighbors, please come out. It's so important.
We'll wrap up here. Hand the microphone back down here, Mike, and then we'll have, you guys just start thinking of your 2-minute closing statement. I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm looking forward to coming to the next one in April to hear about the sheriff race, road race. I think that those are the two groups going to be here, right? Road race, road rage, and tough. But I think there will be a difference here in Sevier County. We'll see it here. I mean, having I've mostly voted for Mayor Waters most of the time. But having that change over that command after 30 some years and having a change, there's going to be some change. That change will then be affected in the commission and how things are ran. So I always think that's a good thing. Some people don't like change, but I think it'll be very good in Sevier County here to have the change of the top leadership and see how that affects the whole field over the next 3 to 6 years, how that goes. But I appreciate you all coming tonight. So 2 minutes, 2-minute warning.
All right, thank you. I want to say something about my work ethic. I go to work early in the morning. I get up at 3, makes my wife mad. I'm at work by 5. I don't have to be there until 7. The reason I do that is because I want to make sure that we have school open every day, that we can have school for the students of Knox County. And the reason is because there's such a large population of Knox County students that only get to eat when they're at school. That's important to me. I work hard to make sure that we're open. I work just as hard for you as a constituent to make sure that everything's good for you. I'm not asking for your vote for a title. I'm asking for the opportunity to work for you. On May 5th, let's choose results over politics. My name is Mike Pollard, and I would be honored to serve as your county commissioner. Thank you.
So as we close tonight, I want to leave you with this election isn't about personalities. It isn't about politics. It's about the future of District 6. It's about how we manage growth. It's about how responsible spending and tax dollars, or how responsible we are in spending tax dollars. It's about whether we continue to do things the way they've always been done, or whether the lead with intention, strategy, and accountability. Faith and professionalism is what I'm all about. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a professional, I do financing, and I also do quality. I want to make sure that everything is done correctly. I'm a perfectionist. I have OCD. It's one of my downfalls, but it's also a superpower, and I would like to use it. I understand that there are tough questions that need to be asked. I want to be able to ask those questions. I want to be able to find the solutions for the community. I want to be able to be your voice, to be the one that asks the questions. I will study the numbers. I will make sure that there's no inconsistencies and there's not something going wrong in the budget. I will never forget who the seat belongs to. The seat does not belong to the person sitting in it. They are just elected by the people who are voting. That's you. That is District 6. District 6 is who I want to be able to represent and be able to talk to the other county commissioners and all the other elected officials. So that's me. I'm Sarah Rutledge, and I'm running for your county commissioner.
I do want to thank all of you all for being here tonight. Thank Chief John and the Friends of Seymour Library for putting this together. As an educator, I believe anytime we can inform and educate the public, we've done a good public service. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I believe in my heart of hearts, and it's a biblical truth, that God puts us all where we are for a reason. He guides our paths. He ordains what is going to happen to us. He ordained for me to be born and raised in Seymour and to fall in love with this community. He ordained for me to work at the White Star Market and love politics over hot dogs, all the old guys that hang out in there. He ordained for me to go to UT and study political science, and to go to Nashville and work with policymakers, and to see how action or inaction impacts the citizens of this state. He ordained for me to come back to teach at Seymour. I was going to teach history. I taught Spanish. That wasn't my plan, it was God's plan, because he knew I would need to go to Sevierville and Gatlinburg and have those skills to work with those people so I could build relationships and understand this community better. God knew that I was going to write a dissertation in fiscal policy. I definitely didn't know that, but he knew I would need that skill set. I believe God has ordered every path of mine, including my wonderful wife back there, who has the patience of Job to put up with me and my love of our community and always wanted to do something else. So I do believe God has led me here tonight, and he's given me a life that has led to be your most qualified candidate. So I hope tonight you all have seen my heart for God, my heart for my family, my heart for Seymour, and I hope I've earned your vote. If you have any more questions, please see me afterwards. I'll be happy to answer them. And again, thank you all for being here, and I'm Andy Jackson, early voting Sunday morning.
Then I'll give the mic back to Colleen. And, share the video. It's going to be on the Friends of Seymour Library Facebook. YouTube, sorry. You tell.
Yes.
April 16th.
Yes, Thursday, April 16th is the next candidates forum for sheriff and road superintendent. Now, thank you for coming out. Follow this up by getting your family, your friends, and your neighbors to vote. That is the only way we can save and support our democracy. Thank Andy, Sarah, Mike, and John. It was visit their tables, talk with them some more. If you have another question that didn't get answered,